Bamborough back with Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. France campaign, legendary difficulty. We must look ahead to the French Navy of tomorrow, despite the war going on today. Some of our ship classes are starting to show their age. A new Dreadnought design is in order, along with some updated cruisers. Meanwhile, the Second Franco-Italian War furiously continues. A lone cruiser must defend a French convoy against a pretty sizable Italian commerce raiding group. Let's hop in. Okay, I'm going to start off on a lot of this episode. It's going to have to do with kind of fleet modernization, force structure. Right here, we have 112 ships active. That's as big as this fleet is ever going to be, and it's probably going to continue to gradually diminish as the campaign goes on, for the simple reason that the ships are going to get bigger and require more crew. And I've talked before about how, well, the British, got their crew pool diminished, and now so have the Germans, right? 3,600 and 5,000 respectively. They're both at peace, so they've got pretty good replenishment monthly numbers here. We're not much bigger, right? As far as available crew pool. Now, our fleet is much larger, right? We've still got tons more sailors than the Brits and the Germans. But this is kind of maxed out, and the ships are only going to get bigger with bigger crews. So this number is going to gradually diminish. And then, as time goes on, kind of a similar dynamic is going to come into play for Austria and Italy. Look at our ship designs. Okay. So over the 4 classes of ship, technically 5, but we don't have any torpedo boats. And oh, by the way, as I say that, is it a little weird that we're into the second half of 1912 and there's no battle cruisers yet? I think it is. In any case, we've got some older ship designs, older classes here. We got the Caymans, first introduced 1897. This is a 15-year-old base hull here. Le Mont-Piquet, 1897. Diderot's, 1899, in Bouvines, 1901. These 4 classes of ships are over 10 years old, 15 years old in the cases of these cruisers. Now, they've all got some form of well, the Bouvines don't, but most of these have some form of refit going on. But, the tonnages and the speeds, I try not to mess with speed in refits because that makes them really long and expensive, or at least I think it does. I think the time has come where we need to look at replacing all of these. I've already been talking about a new battleship Dreadnought class to replace the Diderots. We're going to be doing that this episode. Already have a pretty recent light cruiser design, 1911, the Duchila. And we've got some of those building. When those build out, and they've got about 6 months left. I got 6 of these coming, and they're just going to replace the old Le Mont-Piquets 1-for-1. And then that leaves the Bouvines and the Cayman. I think I'm pretty happy with the Rochambeaus. That's a 1907 design, but it's got, there's a refit, and then also there's a copy of the Troude-class. So these are essentially Rochambeaus as well. And these are 24-knot ships compared to 21-knot ships for these older ones. And then our destroyers, the Triomphant is a little older, but we do have the Bourrasques. Overall, I think both classes of destroyers which have been recently refit, I think they're doing the job fine. Right. Let's design a Dreadnought battleship to replace the Diderot. And there's a couple different texts that we've gotten. One, which I was waiting on in order to do this. This is going to be the Magenta-class, apparently. And the limit on this hull is 28,000, which we can do because we have a shipyard big enough to handle that. And I think we're probably going to be able to go 24 knot with her. I like to keep some range on them for power projection purposes. And also, now at some point in the relatively near future, we've got a new global map that will be coming. It's probably still some months away, but that's the next major update to this game. Range will be a much bigger factor, at least on some ship classes, when that map comes. Even on this map, though, what has become clear to me over this playthrough that I didn't really think that much about is more than any other nation on this Europe map, France has got kind of a they've got kind of a two-front situation more than any other nation does, with the Atlantic coast and the Mediterranean coast, and having to move ships between the two through the Strait of Gibraltar. That is not a 1 month trip. I think adding a little bit of range will actually help a task force kind of get around Gibraltar faster. I'm going to see if we can shoehorn a little bit more range into this one. I like to drop a little bit of let's go -5. I know that's dropping the range back, but giving up a little draft kind of makes the ship a little bit more stable and helps accuracy. I like that. Boy, that did drop the draft. No, I'm going to go 0. I'm just going to leave both of those 0. I don't like how much the draft. We lost over 1,000 kilometers of range with the 5%. Let's go standard crew. Okay, we're still limited to coal for fuel. That sucks. But we're going to go induced boilers and turbine propulsion. We're going to give her the bells and whistles. These are the capital ships. We're not going to skimp cost on these. And when I say these are going to replace the Diderot, we have 6 Diderot. That doesn't mean we're going to be able to build 6 of these. I'm thinking perhaps 4 of these to replace the 6 ships of the Diderot class. I usually like the unbalanced rudder. It gives us the most turning rate. Balanced rudder gives us a whole bunch of other bonuses at the cost of turning rate. If things go well, if the escorts are in place, and y'all have seen how I fight some of these larger battles, ideally, these ships shouldn't have to turn hard for torpedo avoidance much. I'm going to go against what I normally do, and I'm going to go with a balanced rudder, which is backwards from what I normally do. And then we can, let's kind of counterbalance the turning rate nerf by this is kind of canceling out the advantages of the balanced rudder, isn't it? Let's go with hydraulic. Group 2. I'm going to go ahead and max these out for now. However, anti-torp and anti-flood are areas where I will probably be willing to dial back for tonnage, and we'll probably need to do that. Reinforced bulkheads, skipper double bottom, all the stuff, all the things. We're already above 20,000 tons before putting any superstructure or guns on it. Okay, we've got 100% armor quality, but I'm going to put 1 gun mount on here just to kind of give us the numbers. I am going to max the caliber to 12.9, but I'm not going to go 20% barrel length. I think the tech is getting up to a point where there's enough other accuracy things where trying to eke every last scrap of accuracy at a barrel length is no longer 100% necessary, because maxing out the barrel length also hurts reload, right? You get the range and the accuracy and the pen, all of which are good, but you lose reload. So I'm going to dial this back a little bit, and I think I'm going to go with 10% length. And let's say 50, let's just go with 15,000 meters. 15 kilometers. So these guns will penetrate, well, we might get closer than that. At 10,000 meters, these guns will penetrate 16.5 inches of armor. So, to protect against our own guns, we would only need about 9 inches of armor at 10,000 meters because of the armor quality. Of course, we might get closer than that. 12 inches might be enough. 5.4 inches at 15,000 meters, 6.6 inches, 17.5 kilometers, and then 7.8 inches of deck at 20,000. I think we're still in an era where engagement ranges at 20,000 kilometers just aren't really going to be happening that much. I think this main deck is fine. Let's go with 5.5 main deck. Let's go, let's keep it at 5 for the fore and aft belts. I think I'll feel better if we're a little bit higher. A little bit of overkill in the main belt. Let's just go 13. Foredeck and aft deck. Let's just go 2.5. And I'm going to have to come back and change these numbers. I'm sure of it. I do like a fair amount of superstructure. Talked about that a lot. And we'll leave conning tower where it is. Let's bump up these citadel inners a little bit. 17. That's got to be pretty good. 17.4 is max. We can probably dial that back down a little bit. Let's go 17. It feels weird that the turret has less top than the deck, so let's just make it the same as the main deck. And let's make the barbette the same as the main belt. Okay, so that's kind of an entering argument there. Towers, best available for accuracy and damage control and spotting's sake. And that's a nice small tower. I like that. Same with the rear. I guess. Is there a built-in funnel? No. We may have to make room for a funnel in there. Okay. Let's see how good or bad it is with just, it's got to be in the deck. Wow, that's only going to give me 33.7 engine efficiency with one funnel. And that's with the induced boilers and turbine engines. That sucks. What's our smoke interference with that? Only 4.8. Let's see how bad it is if I add another funnel. For the smoke. 41.5. Nope, not doing that. Well, that's disappointing. I was hoping... I think we're going to have another class where I'm just going to have to put up with really low engine efficiency. It's the coal. We need to get into semi-oil and oil fuel before we can really have a satisfactory balance there of engine efficiency and smoke interference. Okay. These are just 12s. I think just the medium superimposed. One will be enough to perch a 12.9 mount on top of that. Okay, let's put the rest of the guns on. We could not have a barbette aft. That would shorten the citadel. And we might be able to scrunch all this back enough where it would work out okay for weight or offset. I'm going to try it. I don't know if I'm going to get there or not. The question is there going to be clearance above this other turret? No. No. Can't fire directly aft. It'll fit, it just won't. There's a cutout there. And also, that is a lot of forward weight offset that I am not sure we can fully... That's 8.4 forward weight offset. And we're going to get even more when I put the secondaries on. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to have to put the barbette on, I think. So even with that, we've still got forward weight offset. Let's go ahead and move this tower on back. Okay, I think that'll do. All right, let's put the casemates on. Can I get the hull casemates with 3s? I cannot. I've got to go 4s. That's going to add a bunch of forward weight offset. Oh, yes. We're going to do the same thing with the casemates. Actually, no. There's a lot more casemates, and I'm going to go the full 20 on the casemates for range and accuracy. Yes, the same argument applies, right? I'm hurting their rate of fire, but there's a lot more of them. Okay, let's scrunch all this back. Oh, I can put a funnel on the aft tower. That should help. Which means we can scrunch all this stuff back. And that's shortening the citadel as well. Okay, yeah, I think we're cooking with gas there. Yeah, she's pretty. That's a pretty warship. I think so, anyway. Okay, let's throw a few of my 2.9s that I like up onto the towers. Now we're getting some aft weight off. These two are, yeah, okay. Can't have these two. And we've probably got some room for some secondary mounts in here. Just a couple. Go with the 2.9s. I think they only go up to 10% anyway. It looks like a nice place right there. That's a good firing arc. I'm going to probably stick one right in here. Okay. That's still a pretty good firing arc. That's a good one. That's a good one. This one's a little... I'm going to get rid of this one. There. That casemate. Aft weight offset 2.6%. Well, let's go back through and work on our components. I read this a lot that barbette is superfluous. I don't see it. I mean, all the minus flash fire and ammo det chance. And the argument is that if you're properly armored, particularly with this barbette armor right here, then the flash fire chance is irrelevant. And therefore, why spend the weight on barbette components? That's the argument, and I'm not saying it's a bad one. However, sometimes there's lucky hits, and I want to bring that flash fire chance down as much as I can. And the flash fire chance right now is 23.3%. If there's a penetration, I'm going to go ahead and take the barbette. Okay. We know we're going to want heavy shells. Let's go with the most penetration we can for our AP. I think nose fuse is fine for the HE. For the mains, let's go with standard ratio. Let's keep max HE for the secondaries. You know, we get in these situations where we're having to fight these enormous fleets. Like battles that go on for a while. I like the increased ammo. And since we're kind of dialing back our preferences more toward reload now with the shorter barrels, let's go ahead and put the enhanced gun reload on. Now, I don't think that the rotation speed is quite as big a deal for these battleships as it is for the destroyers, but I'm going to put electro-hydraulic. And I've kind of talked a little bit about this before. We are still in an era where the engagement ranges were just, there's no radar yet. The engagement ranges are such that I think coincidence is actually the way to go. I know I put stereoscopic and still have stereoscopic on the other Dreadnoughts. I'm going to try coincidence. And if it turns out, okay, that was a bad idea, it's not a big deal to refit for a rangefinder. I'm going to go coincidence on these. If we were in peacetime, I would be thinking about going back and refitting the other battleships for coincidence. Let's get some hydro if we can fit it on there for increased torpedo spotting. And are we at a point yet where it is worth putting on radio for gun aiming speed? I'm going to do it. I've said this before, I still think this particular line of components adds too much weight. Okay, we are just about there. Just about there. And I didn't have to dial back on the anti-flood and the anti-torp. This is a pretty well-protected ship, I think. We do have a little bit of aft weight offset, which I think will be easily corrected. Let's see what our Citadel looks like. It's fairly short. Let's move these four turrets forward just a little bit. And that lengthens the Citadel just enough to put us a tiny bit overweight. And we put 21 tons. I'm sure we can find that without hurting you much. Okay. I'll dial barbette 3 back down to barbette 2. How's that? There we go. There we go. And that also exactly fixed. It's almost like I don't want to mess with it now. Zero offset. We've got a fair number of 2.9s up top side. We've got a nice row of 4.9 secondaries in the casemate. We've got an ABXY, all centerline turrets. That was kind of the point of this design, was to get away from the wing turrets, which fire separately and have different accuracies, which basically created, even though they're the same caliber, basically created two slightly different main batteries on all of our existing battleships. Now we've just got one that consists of 4 turrets. And she's 24 knot. I'm digging it. I don't see what else to do. I think this is our new class, Magenta. And she is expensive at 33 million. Okay, I am going to build 4 of these. Just going to cost us almost 6 million a month, which I think at the moment we can afford. And that is going to take 22 months for those to come online. I don't even know if we have any ports eligible for, yeah. we're gonna have to decommission ships just for them to complete, and that's okay. All right. So that kind of gets us sorted for battleships looking ahead the next few years. CAs, we got a ton of them. There's 22 Caymans that have a crew size of about 250, 14 moving. So if we look at crew size, basically it takes 2 Cayman crew to man a Rochambeau, roughly. So if I've got 22 of these, probably about 12, that's enough crew for 12 of these Troudes. And the moving crew would be enough for about 8 more of the Troudes. So 22, 26. So there's 36 of these older cruisers. Crew for maybe 20 of these Troudes. I don't know if I can afford to build 20 at once. I'm going to build 8. 8 of the Troudes. Probably need a redesign in themselves. At least just for like rangefinder. Let's have a look at them. Tons of secondaries. And they've been pretty effective. She's on Coincidence 2. We didn't give her any radio. Hands-free loading. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick refit to this class. Hopefully a fairly inexpensive one. Let's bump up her range. We got a little bit of tonnage here. Let's bump up her rangefinder to Coincidence 3. Let's get her turrets moving a little bit quicker. She's already got enhanced reloading as it is. And as I mentioned before, these are intended to be relatively cheap tonnage ships. You know, no Citadel, no anti-flood. We want to keep the cost down on these. I think that's enough. I think that's enough right there. That's all I really wanted to bump up. And this is a high-range ship, which I specifically did for power projection purposes at a reasonable cost. So I'm going to save this. And then it's not showing. Yeah, I think I need to actually exit out. Yeah. Okay, so we have the refit. However, I want to copy that so I can build more straight from that design. Then this comes up on this. Yeah, I mean, you can't, like, there's like 2 new threads a week. And it's a legitimate concern. I would much, much prefer to be able to build directly from this design new construction rather than copy it. Right, so now we have the Clemenceau-class. And we can build from that. I don't have to do a new design. But now I've got 2 different designs going. And then as we go in the future, that's just that many more classes that I have to keep up with refits. Because Troude herself was a copy from the Rochambeau design. So now there is a Rochambeau 1911, a Troude 1912, and a Clemenceau class, which are all basically the same design. It's just that they're at varying stages of updates, right? Like even now, this Troude with the updated turret mechanism and coincidence rangefinder is now a slightly different ship from the Rochambeau. And it just gets to be a little bit much to keep up with in the design list. Wait a minute. Oh, I still need to save this design, apparently. Why are some parts badly placed? Why can't I save this? It's a copy of an existing design, for crying out loud. And this is another reason why this is a pain in the butt. Okay, so some parts are badly placed. I don't see anything red highlighted to show me where the problem is, which I think is probably not actually a problem, but I can't save the damn design without finding and fixing it. Okay, well, I fiddled around with that other design, and it had something to do with the funnels, and I simply could not place any funnels anywhere on that ship. So that refit, I just got rid of that, and I just designed something new from scratch. So, and I kept the name though. This is the Clemenceau-class, but I just designed this, and it I don't know why I couldn't get a similar range on. It's still got a pretty good range. And it is roughly not that different from the Rochambeau/Troudes. It is more expensive. For one thing, the minimum available armor is now a higher grade, right? So, I couldn't go any lower than nickel steel. It's got a fair amount of armor as it is. With that armor quality, this 8-inch main belt is really more like, I don't know, about 11-inch. Which, I think she's still fine. I went ahead and instead of 6.9s, I have given this class 8.9-inch main guns. And for the secondaries, I just fit all the freaking 2.9s on it that I could. So she's got 2 double turrets of 8.9-inch guns, and count them up, 42 2.9s. And she's 24 knots, so in a division, interoperable speed with the Rochambeaus and Troudes. I did give her enhanced reloading and electro-hydraulic turrets. That added some cost. Did give her the lowest available torpedo blister, anti-torp 1. Still no citadel, still no anti-flood. I did give her reinforced bulkheads. So she's... there's a few bells and whistles on her that the others don't have, but she's still fairly low in cost. I think we're paying, what is that? Probably about somewhere between $750 and $800 per ton. And there's a little bit of room. Actually, we can probably put a little bit more armor on her. Not much. Okay, never mind. So there you go. This is the Clemenceau class. And this class will replace the Caymans and Bouvines on about a 2-for-1 basis, I think. Roughly that. All right, I'm not going to build all of those at once, though. Let's build 8 of these. See what that does to our budget. And those are going to build out in 13 months. Okay, and that just about zeroes us out. Minus 442,000 per month, and that is on a wartime budget with the vast majority of the fleet in both coasts on in-being. I don't have everything in the Med on sea control. Everything that is on sea control is either at sea or has recently returned from sea and come out of repairs. As a matter of fact, let's just everything that's actually at sea will stay in their existing modes, but everything in port, everything Let's put it in being. Oh, okay. Now we're at 6 million. But with a bunch of in-being ships, right? Very, very few. Matter of fact, only these guys right here in sea control. Actually, they're not in sea control. They are in protect. Because they're protecting commerce in the East Med. Okay. No battles this month because all the battles we had apparently were going to be with Germany. So let's crack on. Well, so the first thing that comes up that we have to fight is a, quote, task force, unquote, battle of, it's just a plain destroyer duel, not even any transports. X5, we've been spotted. Going to turn now to throw off the inevitable torpedoes. Oh! Just go straight now. Shit. Okay. So you've blown your reload there. Okay. Should beat the crap out of this thing now that we're firing. We got guns trained. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. I was worried there for a second. And this was a Triomphant, so 3.9s. Ambush defense. We've got Jules Ferry, a Bouvin, which is one of our task force ships down here, I think, in the commerce protection. Against, ooh, that's going to be pretty tough, I think. Let's see how Jules does. Okay, our first contact here has to be one of the cruisers, I would think. Yeah. We are defending some transports here, and they're not all that far away from the enemy. This is a... We're already turning away. It's turning away a little bit sharper. I think these all will have to be the cruisers, given how far away we've spotted them. Nope, that's a destroyer. Okay. Okay, so our spotting situation isn't terrible. Of course, if they smoke up, we won't be able to see them. I'm going to keep the range we are probably just within torpedo range. Try to keep our stern kind of toward them so that we can turn away a little bit better. Torpedoes are spotted. Okay, we don't want to get too far away from the transports. Let's go ahead and circle back around this way. I think I'm interested in killing this destroyer first. I'm more scared of him than I am of the light cruisers. She's just fired. Hard left rudder. Ooh, I don't know if Jules is going to get out of that. That's a fast torpedo. Go straight. Ooh, right down the starboard side. Man, that torpedo was fast. To the point where I think they've picked up another tech besides merely fast propulsion. Oh, starting to fire transports. Shift fire, shift fire. We need to get the accuracy down. Let's slow down just enough here. Slow to cruise speed. We're going to start losing transports. Possibly all the transports. I think Carlo is probably pretty much a mission kill. Shift fire to part 2. If I can. Oh, I guess I need to actually select my own ship. Okay, we need to come back around this way. Maybe it would have been better just to keep going away from the transports and draw them away. If they were within sight, I don't... Firing torpedoes at the transports. This may wind up being a loss, even if Jules Ferry comes out okay. Alright, we need to fire at this destroyer. It's a bigger threat. I believe she's fired torpedoes. I'm going to put another hard left rudder on. Or she may be out of torpedoes, having launched them already or launched them in transports. I'm going to try just kind of keep going in this general direction back and forth, trying to draw them away from our merchants. I hope that works. As far as gunfire goes, Jules is doing fine in that regard. She's got a little bit of a fire going. Well, that destroyer doesn't have any torpedoes anymore. Torpedo does. If all transports are sunk, I don't know if that ends the battle. It doesn't in the reverse case. Okay, Piombo's coming in looking a little threatening, but doesn't have any torpedoes. I hope that doesn't mean she's already fired them, and I got a whole bunch of torpedoes coming at me. It doesn't look like they're paying any more attention to our transports. We can see them because they're friendly, but I don't think they're any longer in vision of these Italian ships. So Jules is kind of doing her job, I think. Flash fire. Okay. Porto's pretty much out of it. Should fire to Carlo. Forget that the light cruisers do have torpedoes as well. Okay. It's a pretty good pop there on that destroyer. There's another one. That should finish that destroyer off. Should. San Pietro. She's fighting that flooding. Look at that bar. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Give her one more pop. Hopefully midships. Uh-oh. No. They're taking fire again. Transports. That's gotta do it. Okay. Yeah, we're probably going to lose this transport, but I think the other three are safe. How is this destroyer still alive? No torpedoes on Piombo. Still a couple here on Porfido. Another transport gone, but the other three I think are out of vision and safe. Down. Let's finish off this destroyer. San Pietro. Late. Don't want to have to go back for it. Okay. She's out of torpedoes, but she's also not damaged, so she's going to be hard to hit while she's still got her full speed. And there's another, I think, cruiser up this way, so we need to kind of go in that direction. Point, I don't care if she gets close. I think that helps me more than it helps the destroyer. Got a lot of 2.9s on this ship. T equal damage dealt between the mains and the secondaries. 18,000 apiece. That's interesting. Again, one or the other. Probably inflated a little bit by one of those cruisers having had the chain flash fires. Is that noted here? No. It's shown here though, ammo deaths. Bari's speed 11.9 with propulsion damage. It's all back down to cruise speed. Time to run away. I don't think she's gonna make it. That destroyer again. That's what we got here. 600 ton. Not bad for longitudinal offset. Steam basic. Steam steering. Does have nickel steel armor. Citadel. Black powder, brown powder. Hydraulic turrets. Coincidence 1 range. So she's got a little bit of tech, but that's still a pretty old... This may have been a refit, perhaps, of an original campaign start ship. They got a few extra tech, maybe? I don't know. Look, she's out of 2.9 range. 5 point... Oh, goodness. Let's go run her down. Closing in again on Bari. It's down to 5.5 knots. Destroyer's running around over here, but not able to help that much. So she no longer has any fish. And Bari does keep her stern pointed toward us, so it's a kind of a lousy target angle, regardless. And she's just about done. She's fighting off some flooding there. But it's going to be hard to get a shot that hit. There she goes. Heavy flooding. Okay, Piombo. You get our full attention now. Getting here. 2.9% accuracy on the 6s and only 1% on the 2.9s at the moment. So we're paying a huge penalty for Piombo's maneuvering and speed. However, she's losing propulsion, she's lost her rudder, and we're getting in real close, and she's about to get a lot of 2.9s at point blank range. At least that was the idea. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, it seems like the thing for her to have done would have been to just disengage. There's no way I could possibly have caught her. Well, we did lose 2 transports. However, I think 3 light cruisers and 3 destroyers is a pretty steep price for Italy to pay for a couple of sunk transports. Nice job, Jules Ferry. 12% accuracy with the 6.9, 7.8 with the 2.9s. And again, pretty even damage from the 2 calibers. Well, apparently that was enough for Italy to put out their first feeler for a peace treaty. I don't think so. Nope, we need to We need to whittle down this Italian Navy a bit more. We've already fought one war with them in the past. Didn't put that much of a dent in them. And Italy still has over 250 warships, whereas we have little over 100. And much as we did against Germany and much earlier in the campaign against Britain, Italy needs to be taken down a peg, right? Same goal. Eliminate Italy as a first-rate European naval power. A peace today does not accomplish that. We're going to tell the Prime Minister. Is it called Prime Minister in France during this period? Maybe the Premier. I know today it's the Prime Minister, but in any case, we're telling the civilian government, fight to the end. Okay. They did get 100 VP from transports. Right. We are defending Bizerte. Got a pretty sizable force coming in to bombard that port, including a 17,000-ton battleship, the Venice, some cruisers, and a few light craft, most of which are TBs, right? Only this San Antonio is the lone destroyer that probably has that long torpedo range, and it's not the 5-deck launcher variant. This is a Granito class. And we've got Marcelin Tonnant, 2 of our Bouving, and 2 of our Lamont Piquets. But I believe that is going to have to wait for another episode, as this one, I think, is already probably pretty long with all of the ship design stuff. If you like what we're doing with the channel, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you'd like to catch other episodes of the series that you may not have seen yet, I'm linking the playlist here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.